Dear colleagues, good evening, everyone. Well, for some of you, it's still afternoon or morning. It is the 12th of April, and it is time for our Sunday's meeting. So, dear friends, let's check the connectivity. Traditionally, please tell me if you can see and hear me, if everything is okay. I mean, the technical part of it. I see okay, good, tens, pluses. Good. While you're giving me your feedback, I have a request. I see people are mentioning customer support service and tickets. Everything will be dealt as part of the established procedure. I will not be able to handle your request live during this meeting. So let me remind you that all the tickets, all the requests are processed as per procedure on our platform, Micron Global. So please do not spam your requests in the chat, those technical requests. So I see tens, pluses in the chat. Everything is fine. The connectivity is fine. So we can start. Today we're going to talk about three key messages of the week, updates of the week. First, we're going to cover the main interim results of the GTI group of companies. Next, we are going to talk about some of the news that happened this week related to the operation of our platform. And thirdly, I'm going to announce a series of events and some updates that are going to be rolled out this month. So this is the kind of agenda we're going to have today. It's not going to be long, but next meetings, subsequent meetings are going to be more information-packed, productive, and lengthy. But I think this meeting is going to be quite productive and informative as well, despite its length. So first, colleagues and friends, my question to you, since the launch of the... let me rephrase that. Scratch that, let's start over. So not from the launch of the funding optimization plan, but starting this year, since January 2026, what, in your opinion, piece of news was most awaited for? It can be related to the development of GTI, or it can be just an update that you liked the most. So I would like to see the opinion of our investors and partners. So let me repeat the question. What kind of update or piece of news that were recently published you liked the most, that resonated with you the most, or you have been waiting for the most? Please tell me in the chat. And also, I would like to ask you to first pre-translate your question in Google Translate and then paste the translation into Russian in the chat. So I see someone says, I am disappointed that we can pay only in crypto. Well, today you're going to have the update regarding the new payment options. Then someone says, discount 700 to 990. Well, yes, it can be called an update, a piece of news, but that was kind of a main event of this year. Maya says, activization of the transition to targeted projects. Okay, yes, I agree. Considering the funding optimization plan that was rolled out, it was indeed aimed at scaling the UST technology worldwide, and this indeed is very important. Now, next, I see a comment, development of the company and services offered. Then the best news, someone says, is the transformation of GTI into a stock company. Well, I don't think that update has been released. What was mentioned is that Dr. Unitsky's group of companies was going to enter different markets in the form of a corporate development or infrastructural development corporation. That's what probably you meant, that companies will be entering new markets by establishing a corporation on that market. Okay, so someone says that there is a hope for receiving remuneration in 2026. Okay, we'll talk about it as well. So, colleagues, if you're writing in Vietnamese, Alex says, yes, it's been a while. We've been waiting for remuneration, for payout for quite some time. It's high time we started receiving it. And dear colleagues who are writing in Vietnamese, please take your question and then pre-translate it using machine translation and then paste the translation into Russian in this chat. That will save a lot of time for us. Then someone says, to open a company without middle people is very good. Well, indeed. But, you know, we as a marketing company is not actually a middleman, an intermediary. We're kind of a conductor for our active current and future investors, because all of our current investors and future investors, when investing, direct their money directly to the bank accounts of the GTI company, and their names are entered into the shareholders registry. So basically, we're not a middleman. We're not accumulating any money with us. The money bypasses us. So yes, the middleman was cut away. Someone says a 2-hour Zoom meeting with Unitsky was very cool. Zigmars Zalidis said in the chat. Well, thank you for this. But let me tell you that this year we're going to have more meetings, I'm sure. That's not the last meeting we had with Dr. Unitsky, but I'll tell you more about it by the end of the meeting, what kind of announcements we have to make or meetings we have to do. So here's another comment. Transition of the company to an independent crowdfunding platform, independent of intermediary funds, then the bonus shares program for everyone, and the information about the project and the company development. That's what everyone wants to know. Kwang An wrote in the chat, well, I kind of agree. Yes, thank you for that. So everything that you've just mentioned, the creation of an independent platform, is right on point. We are essentially a marketing service provider or a marketing company. Then you mentioned bonus share plan and targeted or earmarked projects. Yes, we have reached a point when we are now an independent marketing company, but also everything is built around transparency of both the GTI operations and our operations. Then Asos says, once the targeted projects start, there will be quite a lot of work. I agree. Yes, there is already a lot of work which is being done. We're not going to answer questions right now, so I will be ignoring questions, but I will be reading out your comments. So let me summarize, and let me give you my summary of recent updates, and then we're going to focus on that, and then we'll take a small break. I'll tell you why. So first thing first, thanks to the launch of the funding optimization plan, the company obtained confidence, and I'd say stronger feet to implement its technology, because right now several projects are in the pipeline and some of the projects are already at the construction stage. For example, a project in Sosny resort, and then news recently was released about another project And very soon, I hope, there will be one more news released that is been long awaited, and it's going to be play quite a huge role in the commercialization and implementation of the technology. And we're going to have a separate meeting with Dr. Unitsky about it. So, dear colleagues, wait for the announcement. Dr. Unitsky and I, we will discuss the topics already in the pipeline and what kind of role they play in the profitability of GTI and what kind of prospects the company has in the near future and what we can expect, what kind of prospects we can have in terms of the payout or the payment of remuneration. Because one of the news that was recently published, and participants mentioned it in the chat, was about the financial audit of the engineering company. And in the near future, we are going to dedicate a separate information meeting, or we will release a more detailed article about it with better explanation. And something tells me that in the near future, we could indeed expect some very positive news, because the dynamics of the UST transport development is upwards, regardless of all the events happening geopolitically worldwide. Because I think you're all observing what's happening right now in the world. We are living in quite turbulent times, but it does not stop us from developing and helping bring the technology to the market by our investments, through our investments. Also, I wanted to point out, dear colleagues, that this year can become a history-making year, a historical year in the GTI history, because this year a number of events, important events, in store for us, both in terms of crowd investing and fundraising and marketing operation of our platform. And historical events, I'm sure, will happen in the development of the technology itself, because the project at Sosny resort can be the first bird or the first project which was completely ordered and paid for by an external client, which will be yet another proof of the project's and technology's viability, and that all the risks have been addressed. There might be other projects in the pipeline for us, and also a number of other economic processes that may affect the development of the GTI group of companies, which may produce a very positive effect on our operation and work as well, because I think you're fully aware that the achievements of GTI directly influence our work as well. And our work is, first of all, about spreading information among new people about the opportunity to become a co-owner of the technology that is almost in the market. And this way, historically, we are at a way more advantageous position compared to where we were 5, 10, 15 years ago as investors. And I would like to emphasize here that for us, right here, at this moment in the development of GTI and UST technology in particular, for new investors, it is more profitable because we've walked that path for 10 years. And we started as people, investors who just believed in the technology, and we witnessed that technology becoming a reality, becoming viable. And I would like to thank Dr. Unitsky for keeping his work, for making this technology a reality by creating an engineering team who are the core, who are at the heart of our project. And it all happened in front of our eyes, thanks to every micron of our efforts. And that was, I'd call it stage one. I would split that whole process into stages. That was the stage of technology shaping. But now, when people come, you don't have to convince them that the technology is viable, that those rolling stocks will actually move, that the track structure would support the load. You remember, we all had to handle those objections. We had to convince them. And now we don't have to anymore because it already happened. It's already a given fact. The technology is viable. Many of you visited the Eco Techno Park in Belarus, an R&D center, and the testing certification center in Sharjah. So the technology has become viable, and we all witnessed it. So what I'm saying here is that to new investors, what you need to show is that they will have way less time to wait until the capitalization. In other words, the payback time for them will be way shorter compared to us before the time when we start receiving their returns. Because right now, have adopted a model, financial model, where crowd investing provides funding for the operation of the company, whereas the income of the company will translate into net profits that will be shared with investors. So in other words, new investors, again, will not have to wait for a dozen years to see their first returns. And I think everything will become very, very apparent and stable in the very near future, like probably a year or so. And I think this year is going to be a historical year in that regard. And at this stage, dear colleagues, everything depends on us because the company has not yet put itself on a stable track in terms of having enough money to fund its operations. Still, the company's operations depend on our marketing efforts, on us spreading the word and spreading the information about the opportunity to become a co-owner of that technology. Again, so it depends on us. That's why we provided to our partners a whole set of marketing tools to make our work profitable, to make our work with working with new investors profitable. And I would like to focus here on the importance of attracting new people, of showing them the value of our offer. The offer of becoming a co-owner of the technology. So what's the value here? Well, first, dear colleagues, we are still at a time where discounts are also historical. I think you all remember the context why it happened. Literally early this year, all the justification and arguments have been provided why such discounts were offered. And in the context of such discounts, and the current minimum discount is 350 for a package in installments, and for a one-time payment, we offer a discount starting from 500 to 700. So now it's very important to show to new investors that this sweet offer is going to be time limited. Remember that we have a goal by August, September this year to gradually achieve the market discount that where we left off. Remember, it was around 100, and that's where we're going to be in a couple of months. So the window of opportunity is quite short, and we need to use that time to attract as many partners and investors as possible. Also, it is an opportunity for you to turn those investors into your new partners and your new leaders. And that window of opportunity will last 6 months, not more. And there will be quite a lot of good stuff happening in the meanwhile, both in terms of the development of the platform and the technology. So it is my insistent recommendation that you do pay attention to all of the marketing promos that we launched. Remember, we have right now a My Team promo ongoing. Also, we have an increased enhanced compensation plan for active partners, for better referral fees, commission. Also, currently we have a generally enhanced compensation plan that is available to every member of our community. And all of you have an opportunity right now to also get an elevated status rank, which will be equivalent to the rank that you had on any other previous platform. All you have to do is to provide a proof of that previous rank, and then you can use that elevated rank as a springboard for your better referral payouts and to lock in the elevated or enhanced compensation plan. Although I did read some comments and people complaining that the offer was too generous. Yes, there were such comments as well. And colleagues, let me tell you right away, here we need to take into account that when we launched the platform, our costs are not the same as they would have been in 2 or 3 years. So let me rephrase that. The costs of related to the payment of commission at the launch are smaller than the amount of commissions that will be paid in 2 or 3 or 4 months. This is why we can be generous at the launch. And this is why we are trying to strike that balance between motivation and loyalty formation, but also a financial incentive to be here. And we shouldn't shy from that because, after all, we are a marketing platform and we try to allow every active partner to earn some good money. And I see nothing shameful or incorrect or negative in it. I don't see anything bad in it because everyone should be able to earn money for their effort. And we are, after all, doing a very responsible, important work. Essentially, we are ensuring the operation of the entire group of companies by our marketing efforts. And it is my firm belief that our active partners should earn decent money for those efforts. That's why we're offering such a good opportunity, generous opportunity to our active partners. Give me your feedback, please. Do you agree with my words, with what I've just said? We have almost 500 people here live. So give me a plus in the chat if you agree, or like a minus if you don't agree. Well, I see pluses so far only, but I think it's quite obvious what I'm saying here. I saw one minus out of dozens of, even probably hundreds by now, pluses. Of course. Everyone should receive what they deserve. And here we are trying to strike a balance. And all the steps that we are taking have been properly weighted, properly thought through, and I see no miscalculation here or short-sightedness, if you will. So thank you very much, dear colleagues, for your feedback. And this was in reply to some of the complaints from our colleagues that the offer is too generous. But if you apply math here, then you'll see that it is, after all, balanced, considering that we are at the launch of our platform and not like several months in it. So, dear colleagues, all the marketing offers, promos that we've launched at the start of our platform are designed for our active partners and leaders. So I think it will be fair and logical right now to collect feedback from all of our active leaders and partners. regarding the conditions and qualification requirements, because we received some requests from our partners, specifically from Vietnam and Latin America and a number of other regions, regarding the, let me put it this way, whether the platform can reconsider, revise the rank qualification requirements, especially related to the compensation plan. And you know, I, as the head of the platform, have always been open to feedback, have always listened to our investors and partners, and we as a platform always take reasonable decisions. So next week, we're going to launch a feedback form regarding the promos that we've launched. And we will collect your feedback, and you can also add your recommendations to that feedback or come up with your own initiatives, because initiatives are always welcome in our business. So that form will be available in your back office. You can fill it in. We will prepare a list of questions, and then we would like to receive your answers, your feedback. And next Saturday, same time, we are going to have a meeting with our leaders. And link to that meeting will be sent to your email only. It's not going to be a free-for-all meeting. It's going to be a meeting for higher ranks. We will be receiving feedback from everyone, but the meeting will be held with high-ranking partners, and we will discuss all of your wishes and all of your initiatives. And that meeting will be held in the Q&A format, questions and answers. We will put everyone together in one room, so we will not have separate local calls like English speaking, Vietnamese speaking, etc. That was going to be a general call, and we will use our simultaneous interpreters, and I would like to thank them for being quick to respond, for good translation as well. So I'm thankful to them for their work. So on Saturday at 16 hours Minsk time, and then see what time it is in your time zone, we will have a meeting with leaders based on the feedback that we'll have collected. And it will be a Q&A meeting. You will be able to turn on your mic and camera, and we can talk to me. And then we will discuss all of your wishes, probably your recommendations. So we're gonna have a full feedback session, Q&A session. I'd like to get your feedback before that, so that it would be convenient for you, so that your work would be streamlined. And I think it is a sign of loyalty from us as well. So, dear leaders, please take note that next Saturday we're going to have this kind of meeting. So you will be receiving a link to your email address. If we can technically do it, we will add it to your back offices as well. But please note everything that you're going to receive in your inbox from our platform. Second of all, dear colleagues, what I wanted to mention regarding the activities, we are going to launch late this month a training program. By the way, we're going to talk about it with our leaders as well, and also we will announce the format of that training, the way this training is going to be delivered. And thirdly, with regards to our platform, it is also a long-awaited option that we received, a payment option, and I mean here the opportunity to pay via PayPal. There was a detailed description added to a update released recently, where you can use your bank card through that payment system. So a PayPal is like a secure payment gateway between your card and the product that you purchase. So basically, you can link your card to PayPal, and then make your payment. So that's one of the solutions, interim solutions, hopefully permanent solution that we are going to have on our platform. So all of the countries that have been waiting for the opportunity to pay for packages with their bank cards, you now have that opportunity, that option. Also, right now, we are going through the verification procedure to be able to collaborate with a certain payment gateway where our clients will be able to pay directly with their bank card for their purchases too. So we are in the middle of it. We are, as I said, in the verification process, and we are connecting it, linking it to our platform. So, dear colleagues, if you're waiting for the opportunity to pay directly with your bank cards on our platform, very soon you will going to have this opportunity. But for now, we already linked or added the PayPal solution, payment solution. So also an update was recently released that temporarily we unfortunately have to stop registrations. We simply have to stop registration of partners from the European Asian region. I'm talking about Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and a number of other countries. I'm sure it's a temporary measure. We put the registrations from those countries on pause. So, dear colleagues, please take it with understanding. It's a forced legal measure. We cannot put our investors under any kind of risk because there are some legal reasons why we cannot accept registrations from those regions. So we had to suspend our operation in those regions. It was done, first of all, to protect our partners, investors, and colleagues. But I'm sure it's a temporary measure. Also, I wanted to point out that we have started the procedure for us to be able to do our work across the world according to the international laws. And hopefully, GTI and us will go through the procedure of obtaining licenses for us to be able to work in the countries where we couldn't work. So people were asking about the Russian Federation, people were asking about other countries. So for us to be able to work not only in the current regions, but also in the, let's say, prohibited regions, we're working on it. We're now going through that procedure of, let me call it as legalization, for us to work in those countries in which we can't work right now. And that's why I told you at the beginning of our meeting that this year can become a historical year, both in terms of the development and commercialization of the technology, but also for our crowd investing activities. And as soon as we're through that procedure, I'm sure you understand what kind of prospects it opens up for you, for our work. It will boost your structures, it will boost your sales dozens and dozens of times, I'm sure, because many of you, I think, faced a situation when part of your community couldn't invest into the company directly to their bank account, for example. Some of you probably faced a situation that you couldn't work in a specific country because we didn't have the necessary permits and licenses to work to conduct that business in that specific jurisdiction. So it is all solvable. We can solve it, and we are doing it right now. We're working on it. And currently, although we cannot work in a number of jurisdictions, let me emphasize again that please do not take it with understanding. That's a forced measure on our side, and I'm sure it's a temporary measure. We're all grown-ups here and informed investors, and I hope you understand it correctly and take it correctly, the current situation. Okay, friends, this is the main updates related to our work. Also, I wanted to point out that in the near future, as I already mentioned, we're going to have a special meeting with Dr. Unitsky. We're going to talk about the interim results of the commercialization of the technology. And also, probably, we are going to have a separate topic related to the capitalization and commercialization of the technology this year. How, what kind of shape or form this commercialization can take in the near future, and what kind of news we can expect in the near future related to that process, because it directly affects the financial performance of the company. And another thing that I wanted to add here, we will learn more about the financial audit results, and the next stage will stem from it. I'm talking about what we can expect financially in 2026. I'm talking about potential remuneration payment. And all of it is in store for us in the very, very near future. I'm talking about a couple of weeks, months at the most, for us to receive, learn all that information, have a clear, full picture, and then there will be another update released late April about what is in store for us regarding the events of our platform for the investors in UST. This is about the future. Now, let me remind you once again, dear friends, that we need now to collect as much feedback from you and from your partners regarding the current promotional offers, the marketing promotions that we have. We will launch the feedback form, and please use that form to provide your feedback, comments, recommendations. We will process it all, and on Saturday we're going to have a couple of hours meeting with our leaders dedicated specifically to that feedback, and after that we will work together a certain algorithm or action plan that we will announce at our open meeting. So, dear colleagues, I think this is it from me. Hope probably there will be an in-between meeting next week. It might happen on Thursday, but please stay tuned and follow the news that we're releasing. And we will have those meetings on Sunday on behalf of the platform, so regularly. So next week we're gonna have 2 meetings for sure, and probably one more on Thursday. So we're gonna have a meeting on Saturday for leaders, then another one on Sunday at 4 p.m. Minsk time, and then probably one more meeting on Thursday in the evening. But as far as Thursday is concerned, you will be informed accordingly. If we have a meeting on Thursday, the news about it will be released on Tuesday. So colleagues, keep your fingers on the pulse, and let me remind you that all the official information from our platform and all the updates about the GTI development are published on our website in the back office section and also in our social media. And the main source of information for our international community is our Telegram channel, which has various languages in it. All the news is immediately translated into our working languages. So we have different Telegram channels for different languages. So if you are not yet a subscriber, please do subscribe and follow the news. And obviously, do not forget about our YouTube channel, because this is the main way of communicating through videos with you. So we have Zoom calls, then we publish the recording of those Zoom calls on our YouTube channel. So I'm talking right now to people who will be watching the recording of this meeting. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do subscribe. And all in all, dear colleagues, I would like to wish you a nice Sunday evening, a fruitful next week. Don't forget that our My Team promo is coming to an end, and the activities included in that promo imply that if you invite 2, 4, or 8 people in your first line, you can increase your fees, commissions from the first line. And also you can, by the way, increase your discount to 700, 1 to 700. And we will be working according to our plan, business as usual for us, and I would like to wish you a fruitful week so that that business as usual would be also profitable for you. But of course, it all depends on how active we are. I would like to thank you for your attention for our today's meeting, and see you next week, and I think more than even once next week. Bye-bye, everyone, and until we meet again.